we were discussing yesterday this particular numerical where the ultimate bearing capacity of the pile can be evaluated based upon the data given corresponding to pile load test. So in this data, the settlement during loading and unloading curve will be given to you. The data, the settlement during the loading curve will be considered as gross settlement, this particular curve, and during the unloading curve, that is you are removing the loading, then this curve is going to give. That means these values are those values the soil has reverted back to the position after being initially disturbed. तो जो हमारा नेट सेटलमेंट आएगा वो ग्रॉस सेटलमेंट माइनस द वैल्यू इनटू द रिबाउंड आफ्टर लोडिंग हैज बीन रिमूव्ड. सो अगर हम इस टोटल में से ग्रॉस सेटलमेंट में से रीबाउंड सेटलमेंट माइनस करते हैं तो हमें नेट सेटलमेंट मिलेगा. एंड द सेम थिंग इज बीइंग डन हियर. तो 0.85 माइनस 0.6 मीन्स हमारा जो ये 0.85 ग्रॉस सेटलमेंट आ रहा था इसमें से हमने ये रीबाउंड सेटलमेंट माइनस कर दिया. दिस वाज 0.85. So we have been able to plot a value 0.85 minus 0.6, that means 0.25. So you can see this is the value of net settlement. This is 0.25. Similarly, if you are going to subtract 1.65 minus 1.2, so you will be getting 0.45. So corresponding to 1000 kilonewton. So this is 0.45. Accordingly, now subtracting 2.55 minus 1.5. 2.55 minus 1.5, we will get 1.05. So this is corresponding to 1500 kilonewton. We have got 1.05. So evaluating all these values, we are going to plot this particular curve. Finally, this last value corresponding to 2500 kilonewton. This value is going to be 6 minus 2. That is, if we are able to see that 6 is this one value. This is the total gross settlement minus the rebound settlement, which is 2 centimeter. So we will get the net settlement as 4 centimeter. So this curve will be obtained like this. Now after doing it, I will remove all these things. Our purpose is to evaluate the ultimate load bearing capacity of the pile. And this can be evaluated based upon these three parametric values. Whatever is going to be minimum, is going to be selected, because we are always going to be onto the safer side. So the first criteria is 2/3 of the value of the load corresponding to 12 mm of the gross settlement. So from the graphs which you have plotted, we have to check out where is the 12 mm onto the gross settlement curve. This is the gross settlement curve we are having, and these all values onto the y-axis is in mm. That is, these are the mm values. This is 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter. So if I'm going to plot, try to find out 12 mm. So where is going to be the 12 mm? This is approximately 12 mm. And I will try to draw a straight line here. But I want to mark a point on gross settlement curve. So our gross settlement curve is this one. So you can see this is the point which is coming. This is the point we are getting on gross settlement curve. So if I will try to evaluate the x-axis value, using it, I will be getting, this is the straight line and I am getting this value. You can see the point on my cursor, and this is close to half and half of half. So this is half, which is 750 kilonewton. Half of 750 is going to be here, which is going to be 625 kilonewton. And between 625 and 750, we have got this value which is going to come 680 kilonewton. क्योंकि अगर हम हाफ का हाफ निकालते हैं, हाफ के हाफ का हाफ, that means it will be 250 का half 125, 125 का half approximately 62. So if you are going to add this value to 625, okay, so when you will plot exactly onto the graph paper or even onto the scale, I have evaluated all these values from this particular sheet only. So I will be getting 680 kilonewton here, this value. This is the value corresponding to 12 mm onto the gross settlement curve. Now 2/3 of 680 kilonewton, 2/3 of 680 kilonewton will give me the value of ultimate bearing capacity of the pile, that is 453 kilonewton. Now the second criteria is 2/3 of the net settlement at 6 mm. So the net settlement curve, 6 mm settlement will give us the next load, and 2/3 of that load is going to give me the value of the load number 2. So let us see where is 6 mm on net settlement curve. This is our net settlement curve. This is net settlement curve, and again I will draw a new line here. Here we have got 5 mm and approximately this is our 6 mm. So I will take line from here and I will draw a straight line from here. So it is approximately meeting here. And if when I interpolate it onto the x-axis, I am getting this value. So which is again approximately little less than half of half. That is, this is going to be 1250 kilonewton. Half of 1250 kilonewton is going to be 1125, and little less than that is going to be the value. Let us see what we have got here on. So we have got 1100 kilonewton, a little less than 1125 kilonewton. 1100 kilonewton is the value which we are getting onto the net settlement curve corresponding to the 6 mm settlement. And 2/3 of 1100 kilonewton is going to give us the value of the ultimate bearing capacity of the pile. So that is why it is being done here like this. So 2/3 of this, we have got 733 kilonewton. Now the third criteria is half of the value of the load corresponding to the gross settlement at the level of B by 10. So whatever B, that is diameter we are getting of the pile. So we are having 30 centimeter dia pile, which is the B, capital B value of the pile. So B upon 10, B upon 10 is the value of the settlement which we are supposed to look at in the gross settlement curve. So 30 divided by 10, see all the values are in centimeter. So 30 divided by 10 is going to be 3 centimeter. This is 3 centimeter. Now we have to look on to the values at 3 centimeter settlement onto the gross settlement curve. So this is we are having a gross settlement curve is this one, and this is the 3 centimeter. So I will take a straight line from here. If you are doing it in exam, you are going to use the scale. So I will be drawing this straight line, and I am getting onto the gross settlement curve. This is the point. So I am getting this particular point here, which is again close to a little more than half of half. That is between 1500 to 2000 kilonewton. 1750 is this point. Half of it is going to become 1625 kilonewton. So 1625, a little above 1625 kilonewton is going to give me the value exactly, which is going to be 1680 kilonewton. So this is the value I'm getting onto the graph, which is 1680 kilonewton. Half of this value is going to give me the ultimate bearing capacity of the pile from the pile load test corresponding to the third criteria, which is coming out to be 840 kilonewton. Now out of all these three, the minimum is the first one, which is 453 kilonewton. So that will be taken onto the safer side as the ultimate bearing capacity of the pile, which is being evaluated from the pile load test. Now our next article is group action of piles. Up till now we were discussing only the bearing capacity of the individual piles. So group action of piles, in this there are two actually criteria, as you can see even from the figure here. So this is a behavior in group action. The individual piles. Yes, Manish.
सर जो हम तीन कंडीशन यूज करेंगे स्टैंडर्ड हो
Yes, these are standard. These
Okay.
are the standard displacements, 12 mm and 6 mm and B by 2. Always you are going to use that only.
Okay, sir.
So we can see here all the individual piles have got their own individual bulb of the settlement or a behavior which is going to be affected. But if we take in total, so in total we have got this behavior as a whole. So that is why the group action can be it is going to be evaluated based upon the block which is going to be affected out of it. This is going to be a kind of block which is going to be affected. So the perimeter of this block is going to decide. Now if we are going to take most of the time we take out of this, I'm going to delete it and I'm going to again explain the thing. It is going to be taken from here. This length from here to here is going to be used for the perimeter of the block. Okay. The book which I have shared, and the same thing I have written here, that is page number 690. I have even kept it open, page number 690. We can see here, you can see we have got group action of piles. So this is how we are going to do it. From here, you can see whatever I have written and I am explaining can be understood from here. So it is efficiency of a pile group is going to be evaluated as that total capacity of the pile group, that is QG, based upon the group, based upon the block of the combined action of the pile group, divided by the individual pile into n. n means number of piles. तो अगर आपने क्यू यू इंडिविजुअल पाइल की बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी निकाली है, लेटस से जैसे हमने पुराने अपने अभी जो हमने न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व किया, इसमें इंडिविजुअल पाइल की ये कैपेसिटी हमने निकाली थी 453 किलो न्यूटन. तो मेरे पास अगर 9 पाइल्स हैं तो आई विल मल्टीप्लाई इट, so it will come close to 4000 kilonewton. So 4000 kilonewton will become denominator. Okay, 9 multiplied by 453. अगर हमें ग्रुप एक्शन निकालना है तो जो हमने फॉर्मूलाज पहले यूज किए थे, दैट इज बियरिंग, पॉइंट बियरिंग में FSAS प्लस FPAP. QU is equal to FSAS plus FPAP. FSAS क्या है? FSAS बाद में आता है, that is skin friction resistance stress plus surface area of the pile. यहां पर पाइल की जगह पाइल ब्लॉक आ जाएगा, इंडिविजुअल पाइल नहीं आएगा, पूरे पाइल का ब्लॉक जो है वो आएगा. और वो कैसे निकालेंगे हम? अभी जैसे मैंने आपको इसमें करके बताया, इट विल बी फ्रॉम हियर. तो यहां से जो पूरा ब्लॉक है, इस ब्लॉक का जो पेरीमीटर है फ्रॉम हियर टू हियर, दैट विल गिव अस द पेरीमीटर, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली वी विल बी एबल टू फाइंड आउट द एफिशिएंसी कि इंडिविजुअल पाइल से जो वैल्यू निकल के आ रही है वो, और ग्रुप की जो है लोडिंग बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी वो, दैट इज इन टू द न्यूमरेटर. What is the efficiency of the pile group? Now one more thing is there. आपके पास जो ग्रुप का वैल्यू आ रही है, आपने क्या किया, लोड कैरिंग कैपेसिटी ऑफ द पाइल ग्रुप निकाल लिया QG. अब QG जो वैल्यू आपके पास आई है, अगर उसको आप 9 से डिवाइड करते हो, दैट वे ऑल्सो यू कैन डू. आप अगर उसको 9 से डिवाइड करते हो, लेटर से आपको 3600 QG आ रहा है. सो आप उसको अगर 9 से डिवाइड करते हो, you are getting 400 as the capacity of the individual pile from the group criteria. जो ग्रुप से निकल के वैल्यू आई उसको आपने डिवाइड किया, वहां से आपको एक वैल्यू मिली. नाउ यू कैन डिवाइड 400 अपॉन 453. 453 किलो न्यूटन आपने निकाला था फॉर्मूला से इंडिविजुअल पाइल कैपेसिटी. So 400 divided by 453 into 100 will give the same efficiency. So that is actually a way of checking out that what is the average value of the pile capacity coming out of the group calculation. Group efficiency depends on spacing of piles. These are the very important points which I have written here. It depends upon spacing of the piles. Ideally, spacing should be such that the efficiencies should be 100%, but it is never 100%, but our target should be 100%. That means अगर जो spacing आपने दी है, जो spacing आपने allocate करी है, that is optimum, but it does not happen. Generally, the center to center spacing is kept between 2.5B and 3.5B, where B is the diameter of the pile और द लार्जेस्ट डायमेंशन. अगर स्क्वायर पाइल है तो वो लार्जेस्ट डायमेंशन हो जाएगी, ठीक है. अगर वो सर्कुलर पाइल है तो डायमीटर हो जाएगा. सो दैट विल बी 2.5 टाइम्स बी और 3.5 टाइम्स बी. इन वेरी मिनिमम केस इट इज केप्ट इक्वल टू बी. जो उसका डायमीटर है उसके इक्वल हम रखते हैं, बट दैट विल रिड्यूस द एफिशिएंसी ऑफ द पाइल ग्रुप. Pile groups in sand and gravel, driven, loose and medium dense cohesionless soils. So in case we are having end bearing piles, on dense compact sand with a spacing equal to or greater than 3B, the optimum spacing documented, then Q group is equal to NQU. तो इंडिविजुअल से जो आप निकालोगे उसको 9 से उसको n नंबर ऑफ पाइल से मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो वो it will be very close. We can say it can never be exactly is equal to, but it will be very close to the capacity evaluated as QG, that is group of the piles. In case of friction piles in sand, it is evaluated like this. Because in friction piles we know Fs into As is dominant. So now PG is again perimeter of the block. As I just told you, it is going to be perimeter of the block, not the perimeter of the individual pile. And small p, you can see in the denominator small p, that is the perimeter of individual pile. तो आपका न्यूमरेटर और डिनोमिनेटर कैसे चेंज हो रहा है वो मैंने ऑलरेडी आपको बताया है. बिकॉज एंड ग्रुप एफिशिएंसी कैन आल्सो बी ऑब्टेन्ड फ्रॉम द this particular equation. So there are two methods. Either you can evaluate like this or you can evaluate this. These are nothing but number of rows of piles and number of piles in a row. कितनी रो हैं? अगर आपकी 9 पाइल्स हैं वो 3 3 3 करके अरेंज हैं तो नंबर ऑफ रोज हो गई आपकी 3. और एक रो में कितनी पाइल्स हुई? 3 पाइल्स हो गई. सो n will become 3 and m will become again 3. You have got 3 number of rows and you have got 3 number of piles in each row. So using this, putting the value of finding out the theta, where S is spacing of the pile, B is the diameter of the individual pile. In case of board piles, the efficiency is reduced. It is in between end bearing and friction piles, is taken as 2/3 to 3/4 times the sum of individual capacities. That means जो आपने n times QU निकाला है, it's very simple है. इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी निकाली आपने, उसको n से मल्टीप्लाई किया विच इज नंबर ऑफ पाइल्स. उसका जो 2/3 है या उसका 3/4 जो है, यूजुअली इट इज टेकन 75%. 75% मीन्स 3/4 विच इज मैक्सिमम. 2/3 जो है वो आपका 66% हो जाएगा. तो 75% ऑफ द NQU will give you the capacity in case of board piles. Then pile groups in clay. So earlier this was in sand, we have got clay here. Again the same formula which we were using for individual piles. The same formula which we were using for individual piles. Only thing is that the parameters corresponding to the group are going to come into picture here instead of individual pile. Now here you can see QPAG. Now earlier we were finding the area of individual pile. Here we will be finding the area of the block of the piles, which is called as base area of the block. This is the base area of the block. Perimeter of the block, NC is going to remain 9 for piles. QP unit point resistance. This is same for डेप्थ जो आपकी वो सेम ही रहने वाली है इंडिविजुअल के लिए और ब्लॉक के लिए. Adhesion factor is going to be 1 for soft clay. जब भी आप न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व कर रहे हो, अगर क्वेश्चन में नहीं गिवन है तो अल्फा को 1 आप ले सकते हो. As I have also written here, normally consolidated clays it is 1. Now C is undrained cohesion, which if it is not given into the question straight away, तो हमने जो अल्फा और अनड्रेन्ड कोहेजन के जो ग्राफ्स मैंने आपके साथ शेयर किए थे, वहां से आप CU वैल्यू निकाल सकते हो. उसमें ट्रांजिशन जोन है कि स्टिफ क्ले से नॉर्मली कंसोलिडेटेड क्ले से स्टिफ क्ले में जा रहा है या इंटरमीडिएट क्ले से स्टिफ क्ले में जा रहा है. देयर आर 3 कंडीशंस देयर. फ्रॉम देयर यू कैन फाइंड आउट द C bar वैल्यू. सो यूजिंग ऑल दीज वैल्यूज C एंड C bar इज गोइंग टू रिमेन सेम. क्योंकि पोर वाटर प्रेशर अगर आप कंसिडर नहीं कर रहे हो तो तब तक C और C bar वैल्यू सेम रहेगी. So accordingly you can find out the group capacity of the pile for clays accordingly. The thing is that as I have written here, lower out of 1 and 2. तो ये इससे तो आप ब्लॉक का निकाल रहे हो और यहां से आप वही N into QU कर रहे हो, नंबर ऑफ पाइल्स इनटू द कैपेसिटी ऑफ द सिंगल पाइल. तो दोनों में से जो कम आएगा दैट, because we have to be on to the conservative and safer side, हम उसे कभी भी ज्यादा वैल्यू नहीं दे सकते. अगर हमने ज्यादा वैल्यू ज्यादा ले ली तो क्या होगा, our design will be conservative और जो permissible stresses हैं, permissible stresses will be hugely interfered. Now this is settlement of the pile groups. Due to elastic shortening of the piles plus due to settlement of the soil supporting piles, that is the elastic shortening of the pile plus the settlement of the soil is going to give us the total settlement. For friction piles, we have got this first case. For end bearing piles, we have got this one. Again, let me pass through it. Settlement of the pile groups. This is because friction piles में shaft का जो friction है that dominates. So up till here it is dominant and that is why it is having a dispersion, a certain dispersion angle of 1:2. So it will come out close to 45 degree. So this is going to be the R way out if it is only friction pile group. If it is end bearing, then at the bottom it will start dispersing out. So we can see here it is starting dispersing out from the bottom. In case of friction piles, it is dispersing out from here. But in case of combination of both, as we are doing in preceding sections, it is going to be a combination of both from here and here. So we will be calculating the total settlement based upon both the actions. For determination of settlement, compression characteristics of soil are required. For cohesion-less soils, Campton's methods and Meyerhoff's methods has been suggested. For Campton's methods, I have referred to a particular page. This graph is being given where the ratio of Sg by S0 is given to us. And for Meyerhoff's methods, this particular formula is given to us to find out the Sg. That is the settlement of the pile group. Settlement of the pile group. And in case of clay soil, the individual settlement of the different layers, the formula is given, that is delta Si and Qi. That means I here means that immediate layer or individual layer. Delta S, that is settlement of individual layers, and then we are going to sum them out, that is summation. That is why the summation symbol has been used here. So the individual settlement of all the clay layers is going to give us this is the formula going to be used, and the explanation of this particular formula in detail is being given in chapter number 12 of this particular book only. If you want to understand that in detail, so it is given in topic number 12.14, page number 281. But that won't be required unless until you don't understand the different parameters. We are going to solve one particular numerical onto this also. So you won't be able to go to this page, page number 281. But you should go to, kindly go through this page 708, where the bearing capacity and the settlement of the individual layers is being discussed based upon the void ratio, change in the void ratio from one layer to another layer. Now, last one, the sharing of the loads in a pile group. See, if I go to the figure, we can see here that we have got central axis X and Y. But as we know all the pile, जैसे हमने राफ्ट में किया था, राफ्ट में हमने क्या किया था, हमें पता है कि the column loads are different. So we have first found out the eccentricity mx and my. हमने दोनों डायरेक्शन में एसेंट्रिसिटी निकाली थी सेंटर से. इसी तरह से पाइल में भी हमें एसेंट्रिसिटी कंसीडर करनी पड़ती है, Ex और Ey. Now considering the value of Ex and Ey, we are going to find out the total stresses, or you can say, and subsequent to those total stresses, we can design those piles or a pile group. So how we can do it? Again, I will go back to that formula. मैंने एक क्वेश्चन आपसे पहले किया था, रिपीटेडली बार बार मैं करता हूं. क्या आपने ये फॉर्मूला पहले पढ़ा है? P अपॉन A प्लस माइनस M अपॉन Z. मुनीश कुमार.
Yes, sir.
What is that formula? P upon A plus minus M upon Z. रौनक अफजा.
Yes, sir.
What is the formula? P upon A plus minus M upon Z. सौरभ.
इसमें टर्म्स बतानी है सर इसमें.
नहीं, टर्म्स नहीं, आपको एक्सप्लेन, ठीक है, टर्म्स भी बतानी है, एक्सप्लेन भी करना है.
Sir, resistance.
हाँ, रौनक बताओ.
Sir, resistance.
सौरभ.
Yes, sir.
What are the terms in P upon A plus minus M upon Z and where it is used? Okay, Munish, आप बताओ. सौरभ is taking time. Nobody is able to answer. हाँ बोलो.
इसमें P तो आ जाएगा ना, लोड वगैरह जो होगा हमें.
कौन सा लोड? कौन सा लोड? लोड कितने तरह के होते हैं? बहुत तरह के लोड होते हैं. कौन सा लोड? एक्सियल लोड, फ्लेक्सुरल लोड, टॉर्शनल लोड, शियर लोड, कौन सा लोड? एम क्या है यहाँ पर? एम okay, I will explain. P upon A plus minus M by Z. P upon A is axial stress and M upon Z is going to give us the flexural stress. जो फ्लेक्सुरल बेंडिंग होती है उससे जो स्ट्रेस आता है वो M अपॉन Z से निकल के आता है, और P अपॉन A इज एक्सियल स्ट्रेस. जब हम कॉलम डिजाइन करते हैं, अगर कॉलम बाईएक्सियल बेंडिंग है तो एसेंट्रिसिटी के कोरस्पॉन्डिंग जो मोमेंट आ रहा है, जो सेक्शन मॉडुलस है, वहां से फ्लेक्सुरल बेंडिंग के कोरस्पॉन्डिंग स्ट्रेस निकलेगा. एंड द सिमिलर कॉन्सेप्ट्स आर यूज्ड एवरीवेयर. So here also you can see we have got here axial load plus the loads due to moment coming out of the eccentricity of the different pile reactions, you can say. So हमें दोनों साइड की एसेंट्रिसिटी x बार निकालना पड़ेगा, फिर y बार निकालना पड़ेगा, उसके अकॉर्डिंग मोमेंट निकालना पड़ेगा mx और my, और वहां से टोटल यू कैन सी दिस इज Q ग्रुप इंटू EX. तो जो पूरे ग्रुप का लोड आ रहा है उसको आप एसेंट्रिसिटी से मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो आपको मोमेंट मिल जाएगा x डायरेक्शन में, इसी तरह से y डायरेक्शन में. सो दैट विल गिव अस द टोटल कैपेसिटी. इफ द लोड इज एसेंट्रिक अबाउट बोथ द एक्सिस, so we will be using EX and EY both. Positive sign taken for piles on to the right hand side. जो सेंट्रल लाइन है उस सेंट्रल लाइन के राइट हैंड साइड में जो भी वैल्यू, जो पाइल्स हैं उनकी जो वैल्यू आएगी वो हमेशा पॉजिटिव लेंगे. जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड है वो हमेशा नेगेटिव लेंगे. इसी तरह से एक्स एक्सिस में जो ऊपर की साइड है वो पॉजिटिव रहेगी वैल्यू, और जो नीचे है वो नेगेटिव रहेगी वैल्यू. सो ऑन दिस साइड it is going to be positive, and on this side it will be negative. On this side it is going to be positive. On this side it is going to be negative during our calculation. So today I will stop this lecture here and we will continue. Maybe I will be taking an extra class either today, so I will tell you.